Thank you, Donald, and good evening, everybody. I'm speaking to you from Atlanta, where I've been a guest at the Rotary Club today at lunch. A lot of people who want to see closer relationships between the USA and the United Kingdom. But before we are free to do that, we have to leave the European Union. Now, the good news is that we know that Article 50 will be triggered on the 29th of March. Yes, sure, it's taken over 9 months, but it is going to happen. And in response to this, what do we get from our partners, our colleagues for the last 40 plus years in the European Union? Well, I tell you what we get. We get Jean-Claude Juncker, the president of the European Commission, being interviewed by the German newspaper Bild. And he's asked the question, was he worried that other countries might want to follow Britain's example in quitting? And Mr. Juncker says, no, Britain's example will make everyone else realise that it's not worth leaving. So really, what he's saying is that if we want to leave the European Union, they are going to be as nasty and as beastly to us as they possibly can. I have to say, in the face of such arrogance and unpleasantness, I wonder why we ever joined the European Club in the first place. I mean, if they're this nasty, let's get out as quickly as we possibly can. So the question is, in the face of Juncker behaving in this way, should we be prepared to just walk away? And I'm going to ask David in Putney that question first.
Hello, Nigel. Thank you for having me on. You're an absolute legend in your own lifetime. I'd like to say that it's irrelevant what Juncker said. In the politest term, he's a cantankerous moron. He does not speak for the other 27 countries. He kind of represents them as a sort of figurehead. But, you know, the likes of Germany and France will want to trade with us, although they will lose billions and we will lose billions. And whether you're on the left of politics or the right, we're all pretty cynical, and we know that money talks. And money in this situation will talk. We will trade in a decent way with all of those European countries that want to trade with us. And what Juncker is saying, he's just afraid. He's afraid of the movement to the right. He's afraid of nationalism. He's afraid of countries wanting their sovereignty like we are going to get our sovereignty back.
Yep.
And whatever he says, it's irrelevant for me what he said. He's stupid, really, really stupid, and not very. And as everyone on the left of politics in the UK at the moment are criticising Theresa May, David Davis, Boris Johnson for so-called sort of arrogance, which I actually don't agree with. And all we're hearing from our EU partners are sort of these kind of dangerous jibes that Juncker is coming out with at the moment. They're the ones who are being aggressive and nasty. And I actually think the current government are actually being quite principled and honourable in comparison, and rightly so. And when we go into negotiations, money will talk, the Germans will make money, the French will make money, we'll make money, and all the other European countries will make money. Because they're all in the economic pit. They need trade, they need jobs,
so
they
David,
need investment.
you're saying that in the end, common sense will out.
Of course. Money talks, Nigel. In every scenario in life, money talks. And we're talking billions here. We're not talking a few million. We're talking livelihoods, billions, jobs in France, Germany, and the other countries, jobs in the UK. All of the politicians will want to get a common sense, sensible deal so we can all make money. It's as simple as that.
David, I thank you, and a very strongly put view, and I appeal to those who think otherwise. I appeal to those who think, actually, no, the European Commission do rule the roost, and Mr. Juncker is indeed the king. Great quote, I thought, today from Tory MP Peter Bone from Wellingborough, who said, "It is like the dying words of the leader of an empire as it collapses," which sort of reminds me a little bit. Do you remember Comical Alley? There are no...
Nick Ferrari at breakfast on LBC.
Should mum be able to terminate a pregnancy due to the unborn child's gender? Professor Wendy Savage joins me now.
The words that I used in the hour-long interview have been taken out of context. I don't agree with gender selection, because what I also said is that this is not a problem in this country.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast every weekday morning from 7, only on LBC.
With Hampton by Hilton, making you welcome at over 40 hotels in Europe. Are we live now? So.
Yeah. Right. Well, David in Putney's strongly of the view, David, was that actually common sense will out here, and there's not going to be a problem, and that Mr. Juncker simply doesn't matter. Well, I hope, David, it's as simple as that. I wonder what John in Henley-on-Thames thinks. I mean, John, he's being pretty arrogant with us, isn't he?
Yes, I agree. I mean, I believe, Nigel, and good evening, by the way, I think we should walk away from a poor deal. They have much more to lose than us. We will have new markets, and they will not. I just want a sensible deal for the UK.
John, I get that, and I get the logic of that. I guess the question is, at what point do we walk away if this is how they're going to behave?
If it is not good for the UK, as simple as that, and I leave it up to the experts to decide that. If it's not good for the UK, we should walk away. And then it's up to our businesses, which I have great faith in. British business and industry has got a lot going for it, and I believe we can do it.
Oh, John, I've got no doubt we can do it. Of course we can do it. And, you know, I'm here in the States, and I've been talking to a business audience today. They're absolutely up for Britain and America getting closer together in terms of trade and doing so as quickly as is possible. Absolutely. The question is, you know, if it's in the interests of German companies and French companies and Belgian companies for us to continue with our current trading relationships whilst Britain breaks the political link, who is going to talk some sense into Jean-Claude Juncker, John? That's the question.
No, he won't, because he has got blinkers on. There is no doubt that people like Juncker and other people in high positions in the EU are all wearing blinkers, and the blinkers are starting to fade, and it will take several more years before they fade more to make common sense.
John, I thank you very much for your thoughts and your opinions. One of the sticking points here with Juncker, of course, is he's going to slap on the table at the first negotiation a divorce bill for 50 billion sterling. Now, the UK government has taken advice from its lawyers, and there is absolutely, under the treaties, no obligation for us to pay a vast bill of that size. There may be some minor ongoing bills, but they're nothing like 50 billion. And I wonder, Marion in Brighton, what do you make of this?
Oh, it's Marlon. Sorry.
Sorry, Marlon, I apologise.
That's all right, Nigel, don't worry. It says that on my UKIP membership name as well. They call me Marion.
Right.
What I was going to ask was, during the referendum campaign, how come we never saw Jean-Claude Juncker, Donald Tusk or Martin Schulz or anything ever coming on our TVs and any of the debates saying us why to stay in the European Union? Why was it always just our domestic politicians? And also, we would be, I mean, I look out my front window right now, okay? I tell you what I see, a Volkswagen, a Porsche, Renault, Citroen, there's an Audi there, there's a Fiat just coming down our road, and there's a Volvo there. The point is, they're all European manufacturers, and surely it's in their interest far more, I mean, than us to them, because even if they did give us this 50 billion tariff, bill as they want to give us, how much have we, paid since we joined as members? Surely it's actually, far more in their interest to give us a free trade deal than us, because surely we could re-embrace the Commonwealth in America with Donald Trump in, who actually likes Britain.
Marlon, absolutely. I mean, there are countries queuing up all over the world to do a deal with us. We voted to leave political union. And one soundbite that the Prime Minister is using that is right is we're leaving the European Union, we're not leaving Europe. Of course we're not. But he really is acting against everyone's interests in making the comments that he's making. He does look like a man who's desperate. I mean, it's a bit like saying, if you escape from the prison and you're caught, we'll shoot you.
Well, I can assure you Nigel Farage hasn't been shot there. It's just that the line has gone down. Hopefully we can get it back in a moment here on LBC. There's a slight problem with the line to Atlanta and Nigel Farage in the studio there. Hopefully we can sort it out. I don't think it's the Russians hacking in at this stage, but who knows? But we're going to continue to take your calls, and I think Mr. Farage will be listening on the other end, and we'll try and get him back in a moment. But let's talk to John in Hailsham. Hello, John.
Yeah, good evening. I'd like to say, whatever happens, I think we should implement Brexit as soon as we can and not be under all these threats from whatever European leader might say it's going to cost us 50 billion or whatever to get out. I think we should have the courage of our convictions and go forward on this. And I don't think we should be paying any kind of penalties at all to Europe.
Yeah, but do you think we can just walk away and not have any kind of a negotiation?
I mean, why should we find ourselves under all these threats all the time? And our European membership has been a total con ever since we've been in. And even if we do get out after 2 years, we're still going to be paying net around about £30 million every day. I mean, whatever happens, Britain will survive. Britain was one of the greatest trading nations in the world before anyone ever heard of the EU. And I'm sure with the courage of our convictions, we can do well again in the future.
Well, I think it's very good to be positive. But do you think we should literally just walk away and say, right, that's it, we're not going to negotiate at all? Or could it be that, you know, it's at least worth having the conversation? They may just be talking tough.
To tell you the truth, I think we should just walk away. I mean, we've got Tim Fallon of the Liberal Party and Tony Blair's, all these traitors of our democracy telling us we should sort of, basically just change our mind and stay in Europe. I think we have made the decision. We should go forward on the courage of our convictions and make the best of what we're going to go forward on. When I think we can do it.
John, thank you, LBC, and we'll be hopefully getting the line back up shortly to Nigel Farage. It's 7:15.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast on LBC.
Should mum be able to terminate a pregnancy due to the unborn child's gender? Professor Wendy Savage joins me now.
The words that I used in the hour-long interview have been taken out of context. I don't agree with gender selection, because what I also said is that this is not a problem in this country.
Nick Ferrari at breakfast every weekday morning from 7, only on LBC.
With Hampton by Hilton, making you welcome at over 40 hotels in Europe. LBC recommends that if you want to declutter your home this springtime, you could earn money along the way with eBay. Whether you want to buy or sell, eBay has easy-to-use tools, which together with PayPal makes giving and receiving payments simple and safe. And with millions of buyers ready and waiting, there's no better place for you to sell than eBay. For all the details on how easy it is and for a chance to win £1,000, go to lbc.co.uk.
I know what the plough looks like in the night sky. I know how Eskimos kiss. I know a time when a mullet wasn't a fish. And I definitely know this piece of music. But I don't know my state pension.
There's a simple way to find out when you can get your state pension and how much it'll be. Search Your State Pension and get to know yours.
Sleep Centres have been selling beds for over 40 years. With 5,000 beds in stock, our Sleep Centre specialists are here to help you choose the right one for you. And right now, every bed is reduced by up to half price, plus free delivery and free disposal of your old one. But hurry, it's this month only. Hamsey's Sleep Centres in London, the South East, and online at hamseys.co.uk. Conditions apply.
Your business is growing. Fantastic. But you need to hire fast. Enter Indeed.com, already used by over 3 million businesses for hiring. And with more people in the UK using Indeed than any other job site, you'll find more great candidates and sooner on Indeed. Find your next hire on the world's #1 job site, Indeed.com. Terms, conditions, quality standards and usage limits apply. World's #1 job site based on total unique visitors to Indeed.com.
You could make the main dealer's day by paying over the odds. Or you could go to Big Motoring World and save a fortune on up to 2,000 pre-owned BMWs, Mercedes, Audis and VWs in stock. Then with the money you saved, put a smile on your face with a cheeky weekend away for two. Give yourself a break at Big Motoring World, just minutes from the M25. See bigmotoringworld.co.uk.
Who's Off helps you to easily manage your staff leave, holiday and sickness, no matter what your company size. Start your free trial today at who'soff.com.
Let's talk about you. The I'll walk tomorrow you. The go on, I'll have a second helping you. The give us a minute love you. The heart disease you. So how about the enough is enough you? Start the fight back to a healthier you. Join over 1 million people who've taken the One You health quiz. See how you score. Search One You.
This is LBC.
It's 7:20 on LBC. I'm Clive Bull, and we're hoping to make contact with Nigel Farage. We're just establishing a new connection to his studio in Atlanta, where he is at the moment, and we're talking about, on the day that Article 50, of course, we now have a date for the Brexit process to be triggered at the end of this month. We're talking about what should happen next, whether we should just walk away from the talks, given the attitude that seems to be coming out.